this is 100% without any doubt the best phone in the Tecno Camon 40 series we got this year. From the camera, the specs, the design, and even the battery itself, there are many upgrades that are coming on this phone this year. And I think these are a true flagship killer, and it's actually making phones like the S25 and also the iPhone 16 series look very redundant, outdated, and stupid. So let's get through this video and see a full review of the Tecno Camon 40 Premier, and let's check it out to see what you are really gonna get if you try to buy this phone. I think it's best to start off with the design and build quality. And on that note, you're getting this phone with IP68 and IP69 dust and splash resistance rating. You also get a better design as compared to the Camon 40 and the 40 Pro. Because if we check on the 40 and the 40 Pro, not the best design, but still they're great phones, but not really flagship killer material as compared to the Camon 40 Premier. Looking at other things, I don't think in terms of the design I really have any complaints. And I think, as you have seen, phones are almost the same as cars these days. They're going to be minor upgrades, big upgrades in almost everything else, but in terms of the design, they're not really gonna change because they reached that spot whereby a phone really has that great design that doesn't really need to change at all. And I think that's why Samsung and Apple are not really gonna change. I hope they don't change at all. So another thing that you need to know is that you get no headphone jack, and their dual speakers on this phone bring that great sound quality. I didn't know Tecno goes all out in terms of their unboxing experience. You're obviously going to get everything that you need to use that phone. You don't need to buy anything else. So there's no point going through a any series phone that comes from Tecno to look at it in terms of the unboxing experience. It's always going to be great. If there are any problems, I'll complain another day. Another thing that you need to know is going to be the battery specs, the battery overall specs. And as you all know, we've been getting 5000 milliamp hour batteries for a long period of time. And on this phone, we got a 5100 milliamp battery, and I guess it's great, but as compared to other phones which are coming out with 6000, 7000, or even 8000 milliamp hour era this time, especially on Android phones, I think they really lagged, especially considering the price as compared to other Xiaomi phones and Redmi phones that are coming out, or Poco phones that are coming out with great bigger batteries. Of course, this is a silicon carbide battery, which means it's really going to save you in terms of battery life. And another one is the 70 watts charging, which is again great as compared to Samsung and iPhones, but still as compared to other Android smartphones in the same market as the Tecno Camon 40 Premier, they really lagged because some are actually going all out up to maybe 90 watts or even bigger than that. So in terms of the battery, is great, but as compared to other competitors, they are really going to lose a lot of customers. Another one is going to be through the camera specs. The camera specs this year were really upgraded, especially the selfie camera. At the back, we get a 50 megapixel main, a 50 megapixel periscope telephoto lens, a 50 megapixel ultra wide, and also a 50 megapixel selfie camera. You're going to be able to record videos in 4K up to 60 frames per second. In terms of camera quality, Tecno phones really go all out, but when you're taking photos, most of the time you're gonna need proper lighting. But this one, I'm really not going to judge. I think I'm going to share a bit of camera samples, and I will let you decide at the end of the video. Now let's look at the display. In terms of the display specs, overall, I think they went all out, even better than its predecessor, the Tecno Camon 30 Premier. So first off, you get a 6.78-inch AMOLED display, which goes all the way up to 144 Hz refresh rate, which is actually great. And also the screen is Corning Gorilla Glass 7i, and if you're going to be gaming on this phone with this display that goes all the way up to 144 Hz, I'm using a Tecno Camon 30s, which is actually the low tier phones, and the performance on the games, as long as your Wi-Fi is great, me playing PUBG and Call of Duty Mobile, I gauge somewhere around 30 frames per second or even rather than somewhere around 16 frames per second. It gives me an advantage, but not that much. But with this phone, which is 144 Hz, you're going to be able to play games all the way up to 90 frames per second, which is something unimaginable to think about, and I think is going to be a really really great phone. So let's look at the games. In terms of the games, it can handle most games from Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG. I think there is no such game that I actually think of that it can't handle. Maybe the big ones that I already don't know of. But in terms of online games, RPG games like the ones that I already know, PUBG, Call of Duty Mobile, and I think all these are the games that you can actually play online. It works well, mainly because of the chipset, which is the Media Dimensity 8350, and it's actually comparable to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. So in terms of performance, I think they went all out. And in terms of with the software updates too, they also went all out. First of all, the one thing that you need to know is that this phone comes with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of internal storage. You get 3 years of Android updates, and also over 2 years of security patches. And this phone comes with Android 15 paired with iOS 15. So in terms of all that, I don't think you're going to have any problem at all. And because this phone can actually is going to be able to be usable for over the next 2-3 years, you can actually stay with this phone for a long period of time. And in terms of durability, I'm not going to lie to you, this is the best phone of all. And I also love it mainly because it doesn't have a curved display. I'm using a Tecno Camon 30S and it has a curved display. The problem with phones with curved display is, especially coming from Tecno, these phones have a 6.78 inch display. The problem is going to be with the screen protectors, and when they fall, the edges are always going to be affected. I am actually using the factory made screen protector to this day, mainly because the phone is big and finding a screen protector is going to be very hard. So you just have to use your phone safely and cautiously. But in terms of the Camon 40 and the 40 Pros, that's the only thing I hate about those phones. But in terms of the Camon 40 Premier, I don't hate anything at all except for the AI features. So I think that's all for today.